Okay, so we've got half an hour or 15 minutes or so now to actually join the community of practice groups that you all have requested that we create through GANA. What we imagine is that these communities of practice will evolve and change as the membership evolves and changes over time. So today is just the first attempt at creating some communities of practice, and for you to choose where you would like to start the conversation, and then see if it's somewhere that you can make an active contribution to GANA. We imagine that each of the communities of practice would organise one of these virtual events into the future. The executive committee have got events planned for the remainder of the year. The next one, I think, is about assistants in nursing, the support workers, in August, and then an end of year event focusing on gerontological nursing within Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. And then after that, we hope that the communities of practice will set the agenda for the next year. And in between, we invite you to have your own meetings through Zoom or whatever mechanism suits yourself. But I think for today, it's just to kickstart the conversation and see where we go. And we'll facilitate the conversations going forward in whatever way we can. When I say we, that's the executive committee members. There we go. So now, it's a bit embarrassing to say, but Kelly is the brains behind all the IT stuff for everything we do. And today we tried to give her a rest because she was chairing the session, but it all fell over. So Kelly's created the groups for us. And what we've done is we've had a look at the groups that everybody requested. And then we took a sort of a guess at who was going to join which group. So we started off with 60 attendees at the community, the event today. We've now got about 44 of you. Every room will be facilitated by one of the executive committee members, just to make sure that, you know, we can offer some support. Now I'm just going to have a look. Oh, look, you're getting all the lovely messages in. So what can happen now is that you can choose the breakout room you'd like to visit. Now, Kelly, so on my screen, it's got create breakout room and then let participant choose the room.
No, I've done it. So are you ready? Do you want me to just open
Yes,
them
lovely, Kelly. Thank
you. You should just choose the topic that you're interested in, and you can go straight into that breakout room.
Doesn't lock you in for the life of GANA, but yeah.
And there is a GANA executive committee committee member has already been assigned to the room. So yeah.
We recognise that many people had multiple interests, and that was part of my challenge when we were going through the data and responses, and was also working out, some people put their names and some people put their emails. So we have tried to kind of allocate based on what we thought people were interested in and on groupings that were sort of achievable, so that we've got kind of 6 to 8 potential communities of practice. And then we'll see if, you know, they're worth sustaining, if people have got an interest in keeping them going. And we've got a few basic questions to get through today to help us get going.
All right, I'll open them up then, Kasha. Yeah, ready?
Yeah, please do, Kelly. Thank you.
There we go.
And we'll come back and talk all together afterwards. Are we going to have time to go around and talk to each group, Vicky, or we probably have to kind of wrap up?
No, I don't think so. I think it might be more productive for everybody to add to the chat. Maybe the executive team members can just confirm, you know, what like a one word, you know, yes, it was fab or something like that, by unmuting yourselves. So Kasha, you've got a yes, it was fab.
Yes, it was fab. We have alignment.
Yeah. I was saying to Kelly, obviously the executive committee is so nervous the whole time when we organize these events. And you think, oh, have we done enough? Will people turn up? And we're just absolutely blown away by how terrific it is. You know, it's just really just makes you feel so optimistic, you know, and, you know, all the questions about in the chat about stigma and policy problems. We're all here now. We'll be all working together.
So Vicky, I have a point of order.
Yes, Kay?
I have a point of order. Our policy group, there was a member of our policy group that felt she was only a little RN.
Oh.
So I told her that was the first and last time she got to say that, because I think that one of the most important things, one of the most important philosophies I take with myself when I'm going to the clinical setting is I bring my range of expertise and knowledge to the clinical setting, but it's actually the clinical colleagues and partners that make that research happen. And I think that the view from the bedside or the view from management at a local setting is much more clear on what is actually happening there, and that that they have people, everyone brings a lot of value to the team. So
That's
just
what
a point of order. I don't want people who see themselves as just RNs feeling that they're not valued.
Yeah, and I think that was the purpose of today, wasn't it? With the session that Kelly chaired, and this is the session that Kelly wanted to facilitate. And I remember, Kelly, when we were organizing it, you specifically talked about we want people to just be themselves and share their current expertise, their current leadership in the work that they do every day. It's not about asking for extras, but it's about acknowledging the leadership that everybody's already doing.
And some of the discussion that we had in our group was about the value of this, the cross-pollination, all of the different sites together. So we might have a theme, but it isn't about acute care, dementia and delirium. It's about dementia and delirium across all spheres of gerontological nursing. And it sounds like we're hearing that across those spaces, that we don't want to get too small, because we love hearing the stories from other clinicians from all levels, and academics and researchers and policymakers, that's the breadth and richness of GANA that people seem to be really responding to.
That's good, Kasia. That's it. That sums it up really well.
We had a lot of conversation in the palliative group, but we didn't have enough time to introduce everybody. But it was really looking at education in the palliative area, and also clients with dementia and customers with dementia and palliative as well, and how there's so much education needed in that area.
Thank you, Yolan. I'm just going to go and see. Sue, what group were you in, Sue Brownlow?
I was in the community, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander, rural and remote. Yeah. So I was with a few people that I think are putting their emails in now. And we had a very wide and varied, because that is very wide and varied.
Lynn from the Career Pathways group, Lynn Day.
Did you want me to say something, Victoria, with my snuffling voice?
Or was there somebody else you think would talk for you?
I'm happy to talk.
Lovely, thank you.
My nasal tones. Look, we had a wonderful discussion, and we want to continue it, and transitions between. Really, we were talking about transitioning, I guess, between acute care to aged care, and the passions we have in aged care. And the fact that for some who have been in aged care for a long time, the stigma of aged care being around still was a shock. So something to work towards. But yes, we're going to continue our conversation on email. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who's in the group and tolerated my voice.
That's great, Lynn. And you had Sachini in your group, whose PhD is focused on career frameworks in gerontological nursing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sashini got 8 seconds, unfortunately, and we didn't get to hear all that she had to say, which so we need to continue. So, and Sashini, if you could put your email in the chat, that would be wonderful. Oh, yes, you've done it. Thank you. I'll write that down, or I'll send a group email out. Excuse me.
So if you think what we've achieved in 1 year since, you know, you all put your messages into the chat for International Nurses Day last year, saying we needed something, you can be rest assured that these communities of practice will come to something. Myself and Kasia and the executive committee are so action orientated that we want to, you know, make sure that we do facilitate conversations about these areas, and we'll work out ways that we can continue influencing and supporting each other, new registered nurses and so on. And I just today was another example of giving us energy to keep going on. And we will be looking for, throughout the year, we'll have more events, and there will be an annual general meeting when we'll be identifying formal roles within GANA as well, so that anybody who is interested in participating in a more formal way, you can see there'll be plenty of opportunities for that coming up. So that.
I think that's just what I'd say. There's a few questions in the chat about can they be in multiple groups and things like that. And absolutely, like, we really want to stay united as GANA. But I think that also we're just looking for additional leadership. So partly it's about, it sounds like some of these events aren't going to be separate events. It'll be the community of practice, but perhaps led by one of the communities of practice, if that makes sense. So yes, you can be on all the different groups, but we are looking for a bit of that leadership so that people can take those subgroups forward as well. But we don't want to split GANA up in any way into saying, no, just because you're focused on palliative care means you can't do rural and remote nursing as well. We know the crossovers are really dense, which is fantastic.
That's it. But what we might do is we might have volunteers to have focused topic areas, you know, to open it up. The communities of practice will happen, and then we'll have these virtual events where we bring everybody together.
Yeah.
And then there'll be an annual general meeting where we'll do the formal things and look for colleagues to be named on the executive committee and to take a more active role. That's good. Oh, somebody's asking where all the different participants are from. So what we are, I think I put in the chat earlier, we're what you call a fledgling organisation. Now, Marianne has come to save the day because the PGNA have got a brilliant website, and so Marianne introduced us to the web designer for the PGNA website. So we're in the process of making our website a little bit easier to navigate and a bit more informative, and that's where we might one day have a login where you can actually see members' names and where they work and what state they're in and what location. So that's definitely a long-term goal for GANA, just like any other of these organizations.
As long as it includes places to chat online, Vicky.
That's it, Kay. That's it. We're actually we have called ourselves an alliance, so we're already in alliance with the PGNA, which Marianne's one of the executive committee members. I think, Marianne, you currently the president. Yeah, the president of PGNA. So we're in alliance with them. Another organisation, the Australian Association of Gerontology, we're looking in to see whether we can be in alliance with them because they have more infrastructure than we'll ever manage. But yeah, that's it, Kay. We're looking for mechanisms to connect the members. But we'll have to be patient while ever we grow.